There you go, we're live, Monsieur le Maire. Can I call you Eric, or
Sure,
am I pushing my luck a
No,
little
really,
bit?
I like respect, so you'll call me whatever.
Okay. We'll do a mix between. I quite like Monsieur le Maire
Okay,
as well
sure.
as a flowing thing. But everybody,
Whatever.
anything I can get away with? Eric?
Yeah, sure.
Old Eric?
Just don't call me Tom. I don't know why. I like Tom.
As long as I get your name right, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
People are watching. What we're about to do, people are saying hello already from all over the world. Someone's staying awake in Australia where it's like 2 a.m. to watch this.
Hey.
We're going to walk from one end of Rue des Abbesses to the other. But before we begin this walk show, congratulations.
Thank you.
On your re-election.
Yeah.
So for people at home who don't know anything about Paris mayors, what does that mean?
It means that both the mayor of Paris, Anne Hidalgo, and I in the 18th arrondissement were re-elected because it's a second election. The vote was a week ago,
Right.
not this Sunday but last Sunday. And so last Friday the mayor of Paris was re-elected, and then next Saturday I'll be re-elected also by the conseil d'arrondissement. I don't know how to say that.
Nobody
the
knows.
councillors.
No one knows.
Okay. Anyhow, it's going to happen on Saturday.
Well, congrats.
But-
And how many years does that mean that you're...
6 years.
Wow. Okay. So if you guys have any questions about Montmartre, Rue des Abbesses, being a mayor in Montmartre, or anything, we're here to answer them. Or at least you're here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point the
Well,
camera.
you know the Abbesses quite well too.
Yeah, well, that's true as well. I'll show everybody at home, and I'll show everyone what we're looking at. It's a particularly beautiful day, and I thought we'd start by walking down Rue des Abbesses like that. Does that work?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do
go.
it. Okay. So,
And what's new for your viewers, what's different from what they would have seen a few weeks ago, is that, well, you don't see that many people, which is both a problem because that means that we don't have tourists. The tourists haven't come back yet, and so we're not giving away Montmartre to everyone.
Right.
But it's a good thing too because you have less people and you have the spirit of Paris, which is, more. The people who are here now are the people from Montmartre, from Paris, and so
The
you have
locals.
the locals.
Yeah.
And so if anyone wants to come, it's a really good time. Now, what's going to be new in a few weeks or months is that we're going to work on reducing to almost nothing the space taken by cars in Montmartre. And one of the things that I promised during the political campaign was to work on what we call piétonisation, so giving away the heart of our different areas to walkers, to people on bicycle,
right.
to reduce the noise and to give out more space for people who walk, because Paris is a city where you need to walk. If you want to know Paris,
Sure.
you have to go someplace and then you have to walk around.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that
That's
one.
going to happen in a few weeks or a few months' time. So people are going to come in a few weeks or months. We'll see it differently than
Right,
what we're seeing
okay.
now, and they'll be able to work on Rue des Abbesses as we were.
Are you gonna? So you're gonna pedestrianize Rue des Abbesses?
Well, you can't really pedestrianize because people who live here have cars and you have people who need to deliver stuff.
Yeah.
But we're going to reduce to the local people the possibility to come with your car.
I
and
love
taxis
it.
and stuff.
I love
because
it.
People need to be able to come, so you'll have taxis, you'll have stuff.
Yeah.
But you won't have people just crossing Montmartre. Bonsoir.
That's brilliant. That's the best news I've heard all day.
Really? Well,
I love this street.
have me.
And I think one of the things we need to talk about, the people at home, there's almost 100 people watching, and I haven't looked at anyone's comments just yet. But there's a few things I want to talk about, especially this. So people who are just tuning in, I'll just say hello properly, because a lot of people have joined. This is Monsieur le Maire, Eric Lejoindre. How's my pronunciation?
It's as good as it gets.
Can you say it?
Eric Lejoindre.
Eric
But I think
Lejoindre.
there's only in French that those sounds exist.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm
That's
fine
true.
with people not being able to say my name.
Okay, well, I got away with it then. So those, what I just pointed to,
Bonjour, ça va?
I love how you say Monsieur le Maire in French. So does that happen a lot when you walk around the streets? As the people say Bonjour, Monsieur le Maire?
Yeah, people are nice, so it's, sometimes.
This is really.
Before, when I walked in Montmartre, maybe half the people were tourists, so of course nobody knew me.
Right.
Now you have less people, but people know me.
Right. Gosh, it's kind of packed around here. I'm going to turn the camera on. Look, this is all new. They've got like armchairs out here. See this with champagne as well. But that's what I wanted to talk about. The city's also changed visually because of obviously the pandemic. How drastically has this area changed? I mean, this is never usually here.
That's something that we felt post the quarantine time is that all the restaurants and bars were closed.
Yeah.
And so we were thinking, what can we do to help bar owners and to get them back on track? And one of the ideas we had was to give them more space on the public area.
Yeah.
Because at first they couldn't use their inside area. They could only serve outside.
Right.
And so we launched this really quickly, just a few days after the end of the full quarantine.
Yep.
And it's really worked really well. And now people can enjoy being in the streets, having a glass. We were a bit afraid that it would be complicated for people who live upstairs and stuff. And it's really, really being cool, you know.
Right.
And it's a new way to see the city. And I think we're going to continue doing this in summer also. In the summer, because it's a new way to see the city, you know. And
Right.
it's a new way to live in the city, and we were a bit afraid we'd have problem with the noise and stuff.
Right.
And it's doing really, really well because people in the bar owners are really playing the game.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And
And
they
people
stop
be-
at 10 p.m.
Yeah,
because
so it's gonna ask.
so it's really.
And the customers
doing
are
well.
behaving?
And the customers are behaving.
Wonderful.
Also because they go out in their area. So they don't want their neighbors to tell
Sure.
them, you know, you were making noise in the streets a
Sure,
few days
sure,
back
sure.
and stuff. So it's really, really doing well.
So,
I think that's a nice new view.
shall we go this way?
Sure.
This is the beauty of, this is your first walk show on the Earful Tower, Monsieur le Maire. We've
It's
done...
my first walk show anywhere.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so the rules of the game are pretty simple. Because it's like a talk show while walking, the only real rule is that we have to walk. So we can do anything, we can go anywhere. Sometimes we go over to the audience and say, where do you want us to turn? And they, can give us hints. But we've been whispering before we started. This is so beautiful around here. We've been whispering. Yeah, let's go and have a look at that. We said that we'd probably head towards one of the streets that Eric recommended when he was on the podcast. How long ago was that? Was that like a year ago? It can't be.
I wouldn't be able to say.
No, me neither.
It's a few. See, that's one of the most beautiful entrance.
Let's get a good look at it. So this is one of the original old Art Nouveau.
Hector Guimard drew this.
It's pretty nice, huh? Except I never go down there because it's like 4,000 steps to get to the bottom, and I can't justify it if the elevator's ever broken. I read somewhere that this one was from Hotel de Ville.
I've heard this too. I don't know if it's true,
Right.
but I've heard that it's the case. Yeah.
Okay, so lots more people are watching, and I haven't yet taken a look, but I'm gonna have a quick scroll in the comments. But as we do, can you tell me what you like about Montmartre? What separates it from other parts of Paris?
I guess it's that Montmartre really is a village, and as a village, it has its own ideas, like those stuff. These ones, which were created by a restaurant owner,
Oh, yeah?
Stéphane Cachelin, who lives up next to the Rue Le Pic, and he was thinking about what to do with those horrible stuff we have to put, because otherwise people
These
park.
things.
And
Right.
so he created this. It's called Chapotelet. And then, because it's Montmartre, so he had the idea. And then, because it's Montmartre, he said, "What can we do to do something better?" So he went to see a school in Rue Houdon, and he have first names there.
Oh,
And
I
that's
see.
all children who are in the school, and they all take care of their little own.
Really? Oh, that's so
And,
nice.
and so they water the plants and they do whatever they want to do. And it's very Montmartre. It's a good idea, you know, those things are horrible, those things are.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now they look good. And you work with children because it's fun and it gives a completely different atmosphere to the street. And people now take pictures of this street and they're like, wow, what's this and stuff.
It is a
And
nice
it's
looking
nice,
street, isn't it? Ellen says, "What a lovely idea." I'm
Yeah,
just starting
it's
to read through the comments now.
completely easy, you know?
What happened there? So on that one there, was that like a child who was
because-
absent from school that day?
No, but it's also because those are for cigarettes.
Yeah,
cigarette
okay.
butts,
Yeah, nice.
And probably they were taken away by someone who wanted to have something like this at home.
It's really nice. You can get
No, because people smoke outside because they're not allowed to smoke inside, and you have problem with people throwing their buds everywhere.
Yeah,
So
I think we talked about that last time when you were on the podcast about the. It'd be hard to say that there's not a problem with people throwing cigarette butts in Paris.
cigarettes and everything else you can imagine.
Yeah. So is that something?
refrigerators, chairs. And
Is that
whatever.
something that keeps a mayor busy?
It's something that keeps America very busy because we don't have the real solution.
Right.
Because we can always clean up more. But that's
Sure.
a lot of public money, and it's not giving responsibility to anyone. So this idea is also a way to show Parisians that, well, it's their street, you know?
Right.
And that's their children's street. So if you're happy to have something like that, maybe you're happy not to throw your papers or your buds on the floor.
Do you remember a few years ago, I think a British journalist wrote in The Guardian or something about how dirty Paris was. And I think Mayor Anne Hidalgo got a little bit upset about it. Do you remember this?
I remember this, and I also remember that you have papers from 50 years ago, 100 years ago, about how Paris is polluted and how Paris is dirty. It's a problem for every big European city, even more than Paris, where you have a great concentration of people and not that much space.
Right.
And that's new also.
Let's have a look. What is it?
That's there was a crumbling. That's how you say it, building.
Yeah.
And it's going to be public housing.
Ah, okay.
Public housing and two shops.
I remember when it was a big hole.
It's been a big hole for quite some time. It was a really crumbling. Just people forget that a few years back, and that's 50 years back. It's not 200 years back. Montmartre was one of the poorest neighborhoods in Paris.
Right.
And so you had people who owned buildings who couldn't do the repairs and upgrade them. So you had really crumbling stuff. So it's going to be public housing, and I'm really proud of this because one of the things that we have to do in Paris is to make sure that people can live whatever their social status in Paris. So you need public housing to make sure that people who don't have that much money, like if you're a couple and one is a teacher and the other is a police officer.
Sure.
They don't win that much money, and they have to be able to keep living in Paris, and they have to be able to keep living in every corner of Paris, even where it's really expensive to live. And so public housing in Montmartre is something really important too, because Montmartre can't be only for the rich, and that's something we're trying to work on, and I think we're going to succeed.
Well, that's brilliant place to live. That's hot property. What do you think about okay, I'm looking at the comments now, guys. Sorry, I haven't been really looking. Pallets repurposed as terrace seating. I've seen a lot of that in Paris, these pallets.
Yeah.
Is that cool, or are we...
It's usually cool, but it's cool also when the shop owners do something a bit more beautiful. Like they take the pallets and then they put flowers or they put colors. It's important because what we've done is given them space instead of cars.
Right.
But it has, and a lot of them have really been working on something which looks nice.
Yeah.
And reusing of pallets is a good idea, but you have to work a bit on it. You know,
Sure.
maybe paint them or do something to make sure that your clients are protected from the street and that it looks better. Like there, I don't know if it's pallets or not.
We'll get to that. Yeah, I see.
Nice.
Well,
It's
is it true? I heard that it's kind of a race between the restaurant owners and the cars in the morning for whoever gets their pallet down quickest.
Yeah. Well, when they put pallets, usually they don't take it out. So,
Yeah, all right. What about, let me read some comments here. Someone said, Jeremy said, I'm really enjoying this chat walk. It's called a walk show, Jeremy. But he wishes that his mayor was as passionate as you are.
Thanks. Where do you live?
Yeah, where do you live, Jeremy? Do you guys have mayors where you're watching around the world? Everyone's having a good time by the looks of it.
Amélie Poulain was here.
Yeah, okay. Now, well, it's not just Amélie Poulain on this street because... So what Eric's referring to is this is the... Do French people like that movie?
Yeah, they did.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Do you have to say that though, or is it you have to?
No, but
we can't get a straight answer from you on that.
No. I did enjoy it, but I didn't watch it 10 times like some people did in Tokyo or whatever.
Yeah, I've watched it a couple of times actually. So this is
nice.
where she so she lives just in that one where I'm pointing in the movie, and then she comes in to visit the greengrocers here, and this is where she dips her hand in the grains and everything. But this street doubles as anyone who's been following me for any amount of time would remember. I posted a bunch of pictures when this became 1942 for about like 3 months because it got stuck like that, right? Shall we walk up it?
Sure.
Did you, before we hit record, you told me something cool was going to happen with that.
Yeah, because we've been working with the team which is making the movie so that they can... Oh,
I'm in the way.
Because they used the scenery and everything, and they wanted to do something with us, so we're keeping their decor.
Right.
How do you call this?
Yeah.
Whatever.
The fake facade.
The fake facades.
Yeah.
And we're going to have an exhibition at the town hall when the movie will go out.
Nice.
And we'll probably be working with them too on something to remember. I don't know how you call them in English. What we call les justes. You know, it's the people who protected the Jews, and they have a title which is given by Yad Vashem in Israel.
People who are protecting the Jews.
Yeah,
I don't know what the word is for that.
It's
Someone at home will know.
Yeah, les justes. It's like just people, you know.
Right. Okay.
And so we'll probably be doing something around this area about this. Right?
Oh, cool.
So that's where the shop in the movie is.
Yeah.
Now it's called.
Look, this is that's someone recognized me this time. This is this. Well, we can. These guys. Oh, geez, cars here. In fact, when I did a podcast episode about this street, and hey, go for it. And because this is where the movie was. This was the jewelry shop.
Yeah.
And then, well, you don't see a Land Cruiser in Paris very often. That's not every day. What are they going on an African safari or something? Wow. So this became the this became the jewelry store. So for weeks and weeks, this was done up like a jewelry store. And these guys had to move house for what they thought would be like a week, but ended up being like 3 months because of the lockdown. But anyhow. Anyway, onwards and upwards. So this is the whole street. The one that we just walked up and down was 1942, and now they've totally taken everything away. Shame.
Yeah,
I kind of wish it stayed there.
It was a bit weird to walk in the streets of Montmartre and have people in SS uniform
Yeah.
walking around. The first time I saw one, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I knew they were making the movie, but I had no idea it was that or where it was. And I saw some guy with this uniform, and I was like, whoa.
Whoa, yeah, that's
What?
especially in Paris. That's pretty weird for you
is
guys
weird.
at home. If you think back in the 40s, it was occupied by the Nazis. So seeing anyone dressed up like that is, I mean,
You've been to the Bateau d'Avoir.
oh come on, I live around the corner. But there are people.
Have your viewers?
No, that's a better question. Have you viewers? Who knows where we are now? And sending those questions, Ellen wants to know: do you perform marriage ceremonies?
Of course.
Of course.
We celebrate around 800 weddings a year, so I don't do all of them, of course.
No.
But yeah, it's around 800 every year.
So, and how many would you do?
I do as many as people ask me, so I do, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30, depending.
Wow. Would you have done mine as a favor
if you had asked me, I would have.
Oh.
But maybe you're not married yet.
And no, I am.
Oh, so it's late.
Eric is actually a man of his word, because when I did that, the big embassy
Yep.
talk show, when I spoke to Eric, I was like, "Oh, Eric, you should come to the thing." And you were like, "Yeah." And I thought you were just being a polite mayor. And then we bumped into each other on the street, like
around here.
somewhere around here. And I said, "Oh, if you want to come," and what do you know? You were there.
And I visited the embassy. Well, not the embassy, but the apartment of the ambassador. Which
Right.
is absolutely great.
How
and actually,
did we manage that as
yeah.
Australians?
It's great. And I went at the Tour Eiffel with my kids a few days back because tourists aren't there. So it's the best time to go to the Tour Eiffel.
Yeah.
So we walked up and I saw the embassy and I saw the terrace.
Yeah.
The terrace with where you guys were playing music.
Was he doing his
he
push-ups in
was
his
not there.
underwear again? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Well, I don't know. I didn't have.
Well, you can see right into his place. Okay, let's see. So what is this Bateau d'Avoir then? I mean,
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Bateau d'Avoir is a very, very well-known place where you have. I told you I knew how to speak English, but I'm not.
Say it in French. Say it in French.
The Atelier d'Artistes.
Yeah, I think we can
Places
say
for
atelier
artists.
as well. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it works in English. Yeah.
And you had people like.
Shall we look in the window?
Yeah, sure. Like Picasso, like I don't know how many great artists who were there, and you still have artists living there. It's social housing for artists,
Right.
And it's a place where you can create, and and it's really well, you don't see it here because that's just like the showcase.
But they do mention, the Musée de Montmartre is
Yeah.
so lovely. I love
it
that.
is, isn't it?
Everyone at home, you should absolutely go to Artist Workshop, says J. Lou. Yeah, that makes
Max
sense.
Jacob, you have Apollinaire, and all those people who were in the Bateau d'Avoir.
Isn't it nice to think that Picasso would this have been the door where he would walk
No,
out?
Actually, they walk in. You want me to show you?
Oh,
the
please,
thing?
yeah.
And if it's open, you can see the big windows you have, so people can paint. And,
Oh, this is great. I have no idea what you're about to show me. This is my kind of walk show.
If it is open, because I don't have the.
We'll figure something out.
Isn't it together with chairs and people having a drink than it was when we had nobody.
It's so nice, and they've got. There's a really nice view. If you guys ever come to this place, Le Relais de la Butte. There's a really good. I'll just show the view really quickly. Give me 2 seconds. I'll show you guys why you should come here. There you go. You got this really huge, wide kind of surprisingly wide street for Paris. It's 4 cars could fit on that, and then you got the view over Paris. I can see the Tuileries down there. You can see the big spinning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So where were we heading?
So we're walking to the inside of the Bateau Lavoir.
Hopefully.
I've always wondered why it's called Bateau Lavoir, because that really doesn't mean anything. It's like a ship,
Yeah.
and lavoir is a place where you used to go and wash your clothes, in the rivers.
Yeah.
So why did it called?
Someone at home
Maybe
can tell
it was
us.
a lavoir.
Someone
That's
can Google it, because I knew this once because someone asked me, and it's one of those kind of facts that isn't worth remembering. Like it's like a boring story, but someone could Google it. Quick, let's teach the mayor something. Marianne, they're all saying how beautiful this is. 130 people watching. It keeps growing. It's a shame. Well, you're already the mayor because we could have got everyone to vote for you.
Yeah.
Although they have to live in there. All right, here we go.
Wouldn't you love me?
Wow. Oh, lovely. I've never been into here. Oh, look at this. This is a classic Eiffel Tower walk show right now. Okay, where are we?
Bonjour. Bonsoir.
This is nice.
It is.
So you just walked in, but you're the mayor. If I had walked in like that, would people be okay with it?
People are usually okay. I mean, if you don't make noise and if you're not, but usually people are nice.
This is great. So what? So
on the other side of the
fencing thing, yeah,
is the Square which is one of the small little.
it's so hidden,
areas.
which backs onto Dalida's house,
Yeah.
which people keep commenting about, and we will probably pass it.
If you were an artist, wouldn't you be in a creative mood if you lived here?
So they have the big windows, which I learned on a recent walk, allows that light in to help for the painting. Which way is that facing? That must be
Probably
west, right?
house is here, so north would be here. So that would be
So they'd have-
west.
well. It's good afternoon light. We can see that much, and I can see up there at the top is and it's someone's painting. There's an easel.
Yeah.
There you go. This is cool. What a nice place. Oh, I love it. Hang on, let me just see. Where do those stairs go?
Go up someplace, somewhere. Well, I think they go up to the Place Émile Goudot where we were, and you probably have a door. You know the green door we saw?
Yeah.
Not the building door.
Yeah.
Not the but the big green car door. That's
Right.
probably where
That
it
makes
goes.
sense. That makes sense. Well, this
that's
is
nice.
lovely. This is lovely. Thanks for showing me this. All right. What a treat, guys. And remember.
I'll give you another thing. Not always, but quite often, you have exhibitions which are here, and they're really always good. And it's in there's a huge atelier right there on the left, and sometimes you have art exhibitions that people really don't know about because it's so difficult. Here it goes. Because it's difficult. Well, you can see the space of it. Well, not really, because it's on the other.
We can kind of see it.
And so if you come here, it's a good plan to come and have a look, and sometimes you'll see things that's surprising, or it's mostly not really well-known artists, because the really well-known was in a museum or in galleries.
Sure.
And here we have, new artists or stuff like that.
Well, that's cool. That's how you find the next Picasso. That's what I think.
You have a great photographer who's called Christophe Beauregard, who lives here, and he sometimes does exhibitions here.
Cool.
So if you hear about exhibitions from Christophe Beauregard, go and have a look. It's really cool.
Did you say that name before? Was that the guy that did the thing with the children from the school? Was that the same artist?
He did something for the Nuit Blanche a few years back.
Okay, right.
No, but that's another
Not the
guy.
same guy then.
That's the other guy is Stéphane Cachelin. No, he's really, he's a photographer for a living,
Right. Okay.
And he lived there at the Bateau Lavoir. It's only a few years because you can't stay like 20 years at the Bateau Lavoir. People need to change.
Interesting. People are commenting that my wife should get a residency there because she's also an artist.
Well, you're already Montmartre, so
It's true. It's just moving up the road. Someone's watching in Japan, Eric. Can you believe that?
Konnichiwa. I don't know. Is it Ohayo gozaimasu now? Is it the morning or is it?
Good question.
What time is it in Japan?
I have hard enough time trying to figure what time it is in Australia. But it probably, I don't know. Someone said you must have good legs to live in Montmartre because it's so steep. Do you think that's true?
It's true.
And you've got a jacket on as well.
Because I should have taken it off before, because now if I take it off, it's going to be horrible. But, and because you don't have that much public transportation here, because you can't have the metro up here.
Right,
so
of
you
course.
have Abbesses and that's it.
Yeah.
The rest of the time you have to walk.
That's why everyone's in good shape. Is this the door that you thought that it came out?
No, this one.
This one here. Yeah,
probably.
that makes sense. Okay.
Actually, I know it is because I walked down those stairs once.
Ah. Japan is 8 hours ahead, now we know.
So it's more konbanwa than konnichiwa.
Oh, look at this.
I grew up in Japan.
Ah, I remember this. Here we go, through here.
It's a dead end here.
No, but we can sneak through that bit, right?
Yeah, we can go back up and...
So a few things. I saw someone suggested, someone sent in a super chat and suggested I have a drink with the mayor. I wouldn't dare to waste his time, but thank you for your generosity. 130 people watching, yet only 50 people have done a thumbs up. I'm not a mathematician.
What are we doing wrong?
Yeah, guys, come on, we can rectify this. The reason I say it is because it helps promote the video to other people. What's this?
I don't know. It's a beautiful house.
Here you go. It is pretty charming, isn't it?
Yeah.
This street is particularly charming. I saw the fairly recent movie about Dalida.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
They made the street into 19, what would it have been, 60 or something. You know, got rid of all the cars, and it was pretty cool.
It's so fun to see the old Paris recreated. And...
I love it. Have you got any movie tips where those kind of things can be?
I'm not a great movie. I'm quite a fan, but I don't go to the cinema enough to have any real tips. House of Dalida.
There it is. So,
do people know Dalida outside from France?
There's a good question. I don't know. What you guys do you know? Let's see some yeses and nos. It's a grand house, so you can probably guess that she was. She wasn't
French,
in poverty.
Yeah.
No, but people.
She's known in Egypt because she was half Egyptian.
And Italy probably.
And probably Italy. But...
And if you think that people are watching as far away as Japan, then I can assume that we have some international people. While you guys are answering that, I'll just show. Someone commented that this street was very uneven, and it's hard. I don't know if you could see, but it's like a hill. But you got to remember the whole of Montmartre is on a hill. So, not much comment on who Dalida is. So we'll have to say.
Yeah, she was a great singer. And she had, like many singers, a really passionate life. And she was really in love with Montmartre. And she was actually a good friend of Bertrand Delanoë, who was the mayor, but he was a young man at the time. And she really, people, the Montmartrois remember Dalida and really love her. They probably love her music too, but they love who she was and the fact that she was a very free woman, you know?
Yeah.
And very passionate about everything.
I tell people that she was kind of like France's answer to Madonna.
Yeah, a few years before.
And a few years, yeah. But do you think that's fair? She was like super iconic status, especially in the gay community. Yeah.
That's probably fair, yeah.
She sang in a few different languages.
Well, she was a French artist. Madonna is like a world-class artist, you know.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, probably.
But yeah, the France's, yeah. Okay, so I was thinking, what do you think?
Well, if you want to see the Place du Théâtre without tourists, we need to go now.
Okay, let's do. Alright, we can do that.
The first and last time, hopefully the first and last time in our life that we'll have so few tourists in
That's kind of weird, isn't it? Because, like, for you want there to be tourists, right?
Well, yeah, I want there to be tourists because it's important for the economy, and it's something that we're giving the world, you know?
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's, when you have to see how beautiful this place is.
Do you have the keys to this one too?
I'd love to have a key to this one.
Nice tree too.
It's probably not my...
Oh, and there's the big old windmill as well.
Moulin de la Galette.
Oh,
nice restaurant.
When you say the French words, you say them so quick I can almost not keep up.
Moulin de la Galette.
Moulin de la Galette. And when you said the previous mayor's name, it sounded like you were doing hip hop or something. Can you say it again fast and then slow?
Bertrand Delanoë.
And slower?
Bertrand Delanoë.
Wow. That's not a...
It's a bit different, yeah.
Couldn't it be someone like Pierre Dupont or something like that? That we could all...
He wouldn't be the mayor of Paris, you know.
So, how often are you hanging out with... I say hanging out. How often do you have business with Mayor Anne Hidalgo?
All the time.
Yeah?
Really, yeah, no, really, because we're here in Montmartre, and it's really a great place, and it's relatively easy to work here. We have in the 18th arrondissement places which are really more difficult to work with, and if we want to keep progressing, we need to really have a public policies which are where we work together, the city of Paris and us locally. I mean, there's nothing that obviously the mayor of the 18th arrondissement can do alone.
Yeah.
When you're facing the refugee crisis and stuff like that.
That's a big thing for you,
mayor
in this
of Paris
area.
who's, you know, solid and who's here and who knows the 18th arrondissement and who wants to work with us. So I'd say at least once a week.
But do you think, like, and for you guys that don't know at home, there are 20, well, there's not 21 mayors anymore because...
17 now. Because Ariel just took 4 arrondissements for himself.
Yeah. What do you...
He's a big guy, you know.
What do you think about that? Because Monsieur Ariel Weil is a friend of the show. He's been on, we've done a walk show with him and everything. Was that a position everyone wanted, or was it because, I mean, obviously the 4 of them wanted it?
Yeah. Well, at least 2 of them, yeah.
Right.
But it was important because both the 4 arrondissements were each of them too small to really. I mean, you have to have enough space and people to really have a working public policy. So it's something which I think everyone thought was reasonable.
Right.
And he won. So good for him and good for us.
Yeah.
And good for Anne Hidalgo.
Sure. But so is it that all the arrondissements are kind of like, oh, Anne, come out and help us?
It's not really like this because it's really something we work together. We have public policies which we, especially for me or Ariel and Anne, who share the same ideas.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is to work absolutely together and to, I mean, it's not like she's going to help me or I'm coming to help her. We're doing it together because that's how it really works. Sure. And if we separate everything, which happens sometimes when you have the mayor of an arrondissement and the mayor of Paris, which are of opposite views, it gets things complicated.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And when you do public housing in the 16e arrondissement, where people really don't want them, it's a bit more difficult.
Right. I've heard that she doesn't speak excellent English. Because I'd love to have her on the show one day, but I've heard that...
I don't know. I haven't heard her speak English. We speak French together. As surprising as it may sound.
So here, we're getting to the top of the hill. You must be so hot in that jacket. If you want to take it off, I can do it so we don't show you on the camera anymore. You are the guest.
I'm fine.
So, okay, where are we now?
Place du Terre. The most famous place in Montmartre, probably.
You think?
Yeah, probably.
More than the Sacré-Cœur?
Well, because it's next to Sacré-Cœur.
Right.
And, with the artists and the restaurants and I have not seen it with so few people.
Sure.
Well, we've seen it with so few people when we had the terror attacks. But
should we round it? Should we round this thing? So I'm always curious. This isn't always here.
No, that's only in the summer.
Right.
When the people from the restaurants. Ça va? Plus toi, ça y est, tu bois.
Ouais, mais qu'est-ce que tu veux qu'on fasse? Il n'y a pas de clients.
Ah, faire des affaires. Oui, mais c'est vrai. À bientôt. J'essaie de vous ramener les touristes. He's the owner of the
How you doing? How was the book? Good. Oh no! Get out of here! Get out of here! I delivered. So during the lockdown, when I was delivering books around, I wrote a book.
Yeah, I've seen it on your Instagram.
I was going to bring you a copy, but I forgot. I'll do it next time. You feature it.
The only reason I accepted to come here is because I hoped I would have the book.
So when the lockdown started lifting, I was delivering books to people who bought it, and that guy up on the window bought one, and people were lowering baskets down with a rope, and I was putting it in, but he didn't read it, so I didn't give him the time of day.
It used to be the town hall of Montmartre.
Oh wow!
This building here. It probably didn't look like that at the time, and you see of the Petit Poulbeau.
Yeah.
It's so you know what the Petit Poulbeau are? Those guys who drums and stuff.
Yeah,
and
children, right?
Yeah, children.
Yeah.
It's children from difficult social backgrounds who are in this group and they're helped out and stuff. And so they keep their things here.
Right.
Ici, la première mairie de la commune de Montmartre a été installée ici en 1790.
Nice. 1790, goodness me.
because Montmartre was a village way before Paris extended.
It wasn't part of Paris.
It wasn't part of Paris until the 1890s,
Right.
1885 or so.
Wow. Shall we head towards what's the next step, Monsieur?
You tell me. You know Montmartre better than I do.
I think whoa! I should put that on the back cover of my book. Did you guys hear that? Whoa!
It might be true.
Well, I suppose I spend a lot of time walking around here.
Yeah.
And during the lockdown, I think what we should do is go and look at the. How long do I have you for?
I don't know what time is it.
I don't know. My clock is on the.
Where is Grégoire?
Well, we've
He's
been going for 35 minutes. So.
He's the master of the hours. You've
Okay.
seen one of the oldest and most beautiful churches in Paris, of course.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people miss it. I think a lot of people walk past it without realizing.
It's really small. and
It's
it
older
was-
than Notre Dame, right?
Yep. It's 18th, 17th anniversary in 2020.
I think a lot of people have no idea this even exists.
The doors are maybe the most beautiful church doors that you can find.
Jim McPherson says this is a great church, and then Lisa says she's heartbroken because her trip to Paris was cancelled, and Joseph says the
Come
mayor's
again.
a handsome man.
Cool. Tell my wife. Remind my wife.
Remind, yes, that's better. Everyone's saying we must be thirsty. Yeah, that's fair enough. And a comment that's been coming up is why is no one wearing masks? I think especially in America.
I have one. I should be wearing one. See? Made in Good Bell. Given to me.
See, and that's the reason why you can't wear one, because I didn't even hear what you just said. I heard made in Luberon, is that what you said?
No, made in La Goutte d'Or.
Ah, the good dog.
Made in the 18th arrondissement, of course.
Of course. Which is another part of. You don't have to wear it because I won't be able to hear you.
No, actually, yeah, we should wear it because we're a bit too close. But, I mean, in this physical distancing, there's something about the mask, of course, and wearing it mostly inside, actually. And then there's something about not like. And that's difficult for us French, not touching, you know.
Well, that's
not doing la bise.
La
not,
bise. Everyone is asking
not
me.
touching people, and you know.
Everyone's asking me what's going to happen to La Bise, and I say I've got no idea.
I think it's going to continue because it's really. And I mean, I grew up in Japan, so I know what it is to have a distance.
Right.
And even for me, it's something difficult not to be able to touch, not to be able to shake hand, not being able to. It's something that's really not in our genes here in France.
True. And what typically happens, like when you and I just met half an hour ago, a lot of people don't quite know what to do either.
Yeah,
You know,
because,
like
yeah,
you
you'll have
you
a-
wave or bow or elbow touch or. What have you been doing? What's your go-to?
I don't know. I usually say I'm sorry, we can't shake hands.
Yeah.
Which is some way. So you know what's behind here?
Uh,
What's behind this wall here?
this wall?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm
Water.
looking for what? Water?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Millions, or I don't know how many millions of liters of water.
Why?
Well, because we're on top of the hill, so that's where they built the places to keep water, so it could go down, and it used less energy to go inside the hose.
That makes total sense. But is
It's
it like?
one of the most beautiful. We call it a reservoir. I don't know. how
Yeah,
to say it
same.
in
We
reservoir.
stole your word in English.
And it's one of the few big reservoirs of water in Paris.
What does it look like? It's like a massive swimming pool, essentially.
Like a gigantic pool with, obviously no one can go inside because you have to make sure that nobody pollutes the water.
Of course.
And I've been once, and I didn't pollute the waters.
Is that what the mayors do at night? They go swimming in the reservoir inside the
I
Sacré
haven't
Coeur.
swum there, but and it's absolutely massive, and it was
Wow,
one
I had
of
no
my
idea.
first frights when I wasn't mayor yet. I was first deputy mayor, and we had down here it's Square Nadar over there, and you had because you know that there's lots of holes in Montmartre.
Yep.
And at one point, so the person who's responsible for it came to see us, the mayor and I, and said, "We have a problem in Square Nadar. We found huge holes, and we fear that the reservoir might fall down."
Oh my
Like
goodness.
not fall down, but
Yeah.
you know. And
How long ago was this?
It was 8 or 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
No, a bit more because I've been elected for 12, but maybe 10 years ago. And he was saying so they were all working like all night and stuff just to know what to do because you had water. You had a hole in some place, and the water was going down, and it had and all the holes were getting bigger and bigger, and we're like, because you have millions of liters of water. So if it, we could have flooded the rest of Paris.
That was, you know
and
what?
we chose not to.
That's kind of like, to be honest, it's kind of a typical Parisian story. Like a lot of apartments that have leaks and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
the old, it's
And
just
actually,
on a
it
huge
was
scale.
It was a leak in the public toilets, which are in the.
Is that what
garden.
caused it all?
Yep.
Oh my. I should turn the camera on because I think you guys know where we're standing. Let me see. Yes, here it is, the famous Sacred Heart, you might say in English, Sacré-Cœur. Beautiful. Can recommend people take the stairs to the very top up there, although it's quite a walk. There's something I do want to ask you about though that's behind us. These locks.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? Oh, if you guys could have seen his face then, you were.
No, I wonder how you feel that being locked in love is something positive. But if people like it, it's fine. It's a bit of a problem for us because all this metal is really heavy, and so it brings down our stuff. But it's, I mean, it's fun and it's nice, and people lock their hearts. But I've always found it bizarre to symbolize love and luck.
Yeah,
You know, if you feel locked, well, maybe you're not in love enough.
Interesting. I like your response.
And, but it's fine. You
But
know,
it's legal
okay.
or what? Because in the
No,
Pont
it's
des
not
Arts,
legal.
they'll kill you if you do that.
Yeah,
won't they?
because it's in Pont des Arts, it's really protecting people from going into the water.
Right.
And it was so heavy that at one point they were afraid that the bridge would fall down.
I think one
And,
fell.
One of the stuff
collapsed,
fell,
yeah.
and it was really nice that it didn't fall. It didn't fall inside the water. It fell on the other side, and because they were quite afraid. Here, if it falls, it falls. You know, it's not that bad. But it's just that it's I don't know. It's something which nobody did it, and then one guy did it, and then the other one, and then everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if people really. I mean, I get the fact that you lock it, and but I've always felt like it's not. I mean, some cities you throw a coin in a fountain
sure.
or whatever, and it's true that if you're in love, probably you want to come to Paris and do something about it.
Sure. I think the worst was when people threw the key into the sand.
Yeah,
Don't do that, guys. I'm sure these guys aren't doing that.
No, but it's just that I don't know. I would have felt weird to do this with my wife,
Yeah. Should we look at the view? We've lost your.
He's there. He's always there. I'm never home.
It's amazing. I've only seen him twice. Here you go. Here's Paris. It's pretty quiet up here. Usually, I mean, to be fair, there are quite a lot of people on these steps.
It's a good sign. It means that people are coming back to Paris, which is great for us. And there are not that many, so that it's.
Because in the middle of summer on a normal touristy day, this would be absolutely packed.
And all the way down.
Yeah. All right. Well, how are we going for time now? I've lost control of time. Should we walk back that way and check in with your colleague?
Yeah, we should go back down because I need to go do the turnaround there.
Perfect. That way we get to keep them there for a little longer. If you got questions, now is the time to ask specific questions to everyone at home. Although I've been pretty terrible at reading comments.
Careful.
Those electric
I don't
cars.
used to see cars anymore.
Yeah.
Driving up here.